Okay. Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a new property of light, polarization of light. Okay. Okay. Before going to the polarization, we have already discussed about the properties of light, interference and diffraction. Both these properties, interference and diffraction of light, it is confirmed that light is a wave. By these properties, it is confirmed that light is a wave. Now, the question, and not only that, the experiments based on these two properties, interference and diffraction, we can calculate the wavelength of light lambda very accurately. Because for a wave, the important parameter of a wave or a characteristic of wave is its wavelength. So, experiments based on interference and diffraction, we can measure the wavelength of light. So, once it is clear that light is a form of wave. Now, the question arises is, what is the nature of the wave? That means, whether it is a longitudinal wave or transverse wave. Because these two properties, interference and diffraction, cannot give any information regarding the nature of light. That means nature of the wave. The longitudinal wave and the transverse wave, both the waves exhibit interference and diffraction, so that we cannot determine the nature of the wave from these two properties. So, to know the nature of the wave, another property of light, polarization of light, which gives the nature of the wave. So, before going to the polarization, we just discuss about the waves. We are two types of waves. What is longitudinal and second one transverse. What is the difference in longitudinal and transverse wave is, when already we know that when a wave propagates through a medium, the particles of the medium execute simple harmonic motion about the mean positions. So, depending upon the direction of vibration, we classify this wave into longitudinal and transverse wave. In case of longitudinal wave, when a wave propagates through the medium, the particles of the medium execute SHM about a direction or in the direction of propagation of the wave. Suppose this is the direction of propagation. That means a wave is propagating in this direction. The particles of the medium are like this. Suppose I assume that these are the particles of the medium. And they vibrate or they oscillate, they execute simple harmonic motion in the direction of propagation. That means they vibrate like this, from this position to this, like this. And this has the vibration like this. And this has the vibration like this. So, particles of the medium vibrate in the direction of propagation of light. So, this is the direction of oscillations of the particles. So, this type of wave is longitudinal wave. But in case of transverse wave, if this is the direction of propagation, then particles of the medium vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation, like this. If this is direction of propagation, this is longitudinal wave, this is transverse wave. So, main difference between these two waves is, in longitudinal wave, particles of the medium execute simple harmonic motion in the direction of propagation of light, propagation of the wave. And in case of transverse wave, the particles of the medium, like this, vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave. This is the main difference between a longitudinal wave and a transverse wave. Okay. Now, we will discuss in detail later. First, now what is known as polarization. What is polarization of light. The meaning of polarization is separation. The simple meaning of polarization is separation into two opposing tendencies. The separation into two opposing tendencies. Suppose if you take, for example, if you take a magnet like this, which will have a north pole and south pole. It is polarized because north pole and south pole are separated in a magnet. So this end is north pole and this end is south pole. That means these two are separated, these two poles. So these opposing tendencies is called a pole, and separation is called polarization. That means this particular pole and this particular pole. That means these two have always opposite properties. Whatever the properties of south pole is exactly opposite sense of that of north pole. So these are separate. Suppose if we consider a material, that means if you take a dielectric material, in that if we place this dielectric material in an electric field, what happens is the positive charge moves in the direction of the field and the negative charge opposite to the direction of the field. So the atoms within this material, atoms consist of both positive charge and negatively charged electrons. So the total positive charge displaces in one direction and total negative charge displaces in opposite direction, so that we can have like this. That means total positive charge and total negative charge. So total positive charge is accumulated or displaced at this position, total negative charge in this part of the material. That means if you place a dielectric, what happens in that is total positive charge and total negative charge are displaced in two opposite directions like this. And this is called electric polarization. That means we are electrically polarizing positive charge and negative charge, because positive charge and negative charge are opposing tendencies. So polarization means separating into two opposing tendencies. So in some notations we say positive polarity, negative polarity. That means pole. Okay, polarization. Okay, so polarization means simply we can say the separation into two opposing tendencies. But in the case of waves, it is not the same meaning. But in case of waves, polarization means restricting the vibrations into single direction. So what it is? It means polarization of a wave means restricting the vibrations of the wave in a single direction is called polarization. Simple word, simply. So what is the meaning of restricting vibrations in a single direction? We will discuss now. Now we have said that in a longitudinal wave, direction of propagation is like this. Then the particles of the medium vibrate along the direction of propagation of the wave. If this is the direction of propagation, then the particles of the medium also vibrate along that particular direction. That means the particles has only one direction for their oscillations. The particles has only one direction for their oscillations, that is along the direction of propagation of the wave. But if we consider a transverse wave, suppose assume that this is x-axis and this is y-axis and this is z-axis. Assume that x-axis, y-axis and we can assume like this also, the direction perpendicular to this board, so that this board is xy plane. Okay, now if the direction of propagation is along z-axis, suppose if we assume that along the z-axis direction of propagation, now like this, the wave is propagating along z-axis. Now the particles of the medium may vibrate along x-axis like this, or may vibrate along y-axis. Okay, because both x-axis and y-axis are perpendicular to the direction z-axis. So when we say if z-axis is the direction of propagation of the wave, the particles may vibrate along x-axis or may vibrate along z-axis, like this. Okay, now if this is z-axis, if they are vibrating along x-axis. If this is z-axis, they are vibrating along y-axis. So, they now, not only that, there are number of directions are possible. Suppose this is xy plane and this is z-axis. The particles may vibrate along this direction or may vibrate along this direction. The particle may vibrate along this direction or may vibrate along this direction. So, I assume that this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Now, the particle may vibrate along this direction also, because this particular line direction is also perpendicular to z-axis. It may vibrate like this also. It is also perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So, we can have number of possible directions for the vibration. That means number of possible directions in xy plane. Number of directions are available for oscillation of the particle in xy plane if z-axis is the direction of propagation. But in case of longitudinal wave, there is only one direction is possible for the vibrations of this particular particles as longitudinal wave propagates through the medium. So, because due to this, number of directions are possible for the vibration when a transverse wave propagates through a medium, because like this. Suppose if z-axis is the direction of propagation, these are the number of ways that the particle can oscillate. So, and in this case, only one direction is possible, that is along the direction of possible in case of longitudinal wave. So, when we observe this wave along a longitudinal wave around the direction of propagation, the vibrations appears to be same in any direction. Suppose if we consider like this also. Suppose in this case also z-axis is the direction of propagation, then the particles vibrate along z-axis like this. That means they will penetrate into the board and come out of the board like this. So, direction of possible is only one direction. Suppose if we observe through this direction of propagation in any direction, these vibrations appears to be symmetrical. These vibrations are symmetrical about direction of propagation. But in this case, the vibrations are not symmetrical, because if suppose if the particle is vibrating along x-axis, it is not symmetrical about y-axis. Suppose if the particle is oscillating along y-axis, when we observe through x-axis, it appears to be different. So, that means about this direction of propagation, these vibrations are not symmetric. But in case of longitudinal wave, these vibrations are symmetrical about direction of propagation. Okay. Now this, in the case of transverse wave, these vibrations are asymmetric. What we say is asymmetric. That means they are not symmetrical about the direction of propagation. Now this asymmetric property is called polarization. Now what we can say? I'm going to observe like this first. Now we can understand how what is polarization of wave is. Suppose assume a long string fixed at one end and free at other end. Consider a long rope or a string fixed at one end and free at other end, and this free end is allowed to pass through a rectangular slit. Okay. Now consider a rope or a string which is allowed to pass through a narrow slit, and the width of the slit, this one is the width of the slit, is slightly greater than the diameter of this wire. That means it just passes through that particular slit. This is not so that it is not too loose and too tight. It just passes small, just greater than the diameter of the wire. This slit width A is slightly greater than the diameter of the wire. Okay. Now, if this end A and the fixed end is B. Now, if we shake the wave or rope randomly, like this, in this random directions, we can change the direction of wave in any directions like this. Then they will produce vibrations in all possible directions. They may be in one direction, they may be in this direction, they may be in this direction, like this. That means the vibrations of the string in between the string and the free end, this slit and free end, the vibrations in this rope which are in between the slit and the free end are in random directions. We are shaking the rope in randomly in all directions. They produce number of vibrations in all possible directions. So they are changing randomly. But the vibrations, this particular slit allows only those vibrations which are parallel to its length or which are parallel to its width. That means in this part, that means in between these two wire, in this part, there are the vibrations in all possible directions, but this particular slit allows only those vibrations which are parallel to it, which are parallel to its length, so that it will allow only those vibrations, and the remaining vibrations are stopped here itself. Okay. That means if we shake this rope randomly, so this slit allows only those vibrations which are parallel to its length, and these vibrations only allowed. That means the vibrations between this part of the rope, that means in between the slit and the fixed end, only one direction, the vibrations of the rope is only in a single direction. It is only in one direction. So we can say this is a polarized wave, polarized vibration we can say. Here we have number of possible directions, out of which this particular slit allows only those vibrations which are parallel to this particular slit, so that the waves after this slit are only in one direction. So this is called polarized. This means this wave is polarized because the vibrations are confined in a single direction. How we can say this is polarized or not? How we can examine this, whether this particular vibrations are polarized or not? So for that purpose, we place another slit like this. Now this is the free end. This is slit number 1 slit number 2. Now we have passed the string through two identical slits like this, and the free end. Now if we shake this free end randomly, here we can possible number of directions, waves about number of directions. But this particular slit allows only those vibrations which are parallel to its length. So in this direction only in one direction. Okay. Now if the second slit allows only the vibrations only when the second slit is parallel to the first slit. That means exactly we have taken these two slits as identical slits. That means they have both same width. So if these two slits are exactly parallel to one another, then these vibrations continues to pass through the second slit and reaches the fixed end. Suppose now if you slightly rotate the second slit, then what happens? Because these two are not parallel. Because these vibrations are in one direction and the orientation or direction of the slit is in the other direction, and it stops the vibration here itself. That means the vibration will not continue to the fixed end. That means it allows only when the position of the second slit is exactly parallel to the first one. Then only the vibrations will continue through the other end of the wire. But if we rotate slowly the second one, these vibrations will stop. That means we can say these vibrations, that means the vibrations from the slit 1 are confined to single direction. So we can say these waves is polarized. That means if the vibrations continue when the orientation is changed from parallel position of the first one, second slit is changed from the parallel position of first one, then vibrations will reduce. That means the vibrations that indicates that vibrations from the first slit are in a single direction. So we can say the wave is polarized. Because vibrations in this part of the string are in all possible directions. Out of all possible directions, this first slit allows only one direction. That means vibrations in one direction, so that this particular slit polarized the waves. That means this particular slit polarizes, so it is called polarizer. Now with the help of the second slit, we are examining whether the waves are polarized or not. This is called analyzer. This named as analyzer. So the vibrations will continue if polarizer and analyzer are parallel to each other. Otherwise, vibrations will not reach the other end of the string. Okay, that means the vibrations in between these two slits, the vibrations has acquired one-sidedness. This one-sidedness is called asymmetry, because vibrations are confined in a single direction. So this is called, the wave has acquired the property of one-sidedness. So this is called also asymmetric. Suppose assume that if we rotate the polarizer into another direction, suppose here it appears to be in vertical direction. Suppose if we make this in this direction, then only those vibrations will allow which are parallel to the length. So that means the direction of polarization changes. That means polarizer is rotated, then the vibrations through this polarizer also changes. Okay, so the property of the wave which acquires one-sidedness or asymmetric about direction is called a polarized wave. Okay, it's called polarized wave. Now, why the longitudinal waves cannot produce? Now, this is the property of only transverse wave, because transverse vibrations will have all number of possible directions, so that out of which we are selecting into one direction, preferred direction, that is called polarization. But in case of, suppose if you take a spring like this, Now this spring is allowed to pass through a slit like this, and it is loaded or it is stretched and released. What happens? This particular spring vibrates. Now the string here also vibrates in vertical plane. Now if we rotate this slit around this direction, that means vibrations are in this direction, and we rotate the slit in this direction like this, it won't affect the vibrations. It won't stop the vibrations. That means any orientation of the slit, these vibrations will not be affected. So that's why longitudinal waves does not possess the property of polarization. So only polarization is exhibited only by transverse waves. So that we can confirm light waves as polarized waves. How we can see. Okay. Now how we can define the polarization of a wave is, polarization of a wave means a wave which acquires one-sidedness. That means in which the vibrations of the wave are restricted to a single direction or confined to a single plane, then it is called a polarized wave. So polarization in case of waves means the waves which acquire the property of one-sidedness or acquires the property of asymmetry, then that particular wave is said to be polarized wave. Okay, simple words you can remember is polarization of a wave means restricting the vibrations of wave into a single direction. Okay, and this particular polarization property is exhibited only by transverse waves. Longitudinal waves does not exhibit the polarization property. Okay, now a similar phenomena is observed in case of light. That means what we have explained with this case of slits, now the same experiment is done with light with a Malus. It is observed that two naturally occurring tourmaline is a naturally occurring crystal, and this tourmaline crystal plates, two tourmaline crystal plates were taken like this, and a source of light is placed here and a screen is placed here. In between the source and screen, two tourmaline crystal plates are placed like this. Now when the source S is switched on, what happens? It is observed that, and these two tourmaline plates are exactly parallel, and a light of source is switched on. It is observed that on the light intensity is observed on the screen, and the nature of this tourmaline crystal is it absorbs the other colors of light, transmits only green color of light. So a green light, intensity of green light is observed on the screen. Now the second crystal is slightly rotated, slowly rotated. It is observed that the intensity of this light on the screen is slowly decreasing. And when this T1 and T2 become like this, perpendicular to each other, here the intensity becomes 0. That means complete darkness is observed on the screen. Now on continuing the rotation to 360 degree, again intensity appears to be increasing and reaches the final value. That means from this experiment what we can say is light is also polarized, because in the similar manner where we have expressed in the case of slits, by the rotation of this second slit in here, in this case second tourmaline crystal, rotating the second tourmaline crystal, it is observed that the intensity of light here on the screen is slowly decreasing, and on same rotation to 360 degree, it is again increasing. So the same phenomena is observed in the case of light also. That means this experiment confirms that light waves also exhibit the polarization. That means light waves exhibit the property of polarization, means they are transverse in nature. So which confirms that light waves are transverse. Okay. Now, how we can represent a light polarized or not? Now we can consider like this. Now, as we know, light is the form of electromagnetic wave. What is electromagnetic wave means? The electric and magnetic field, variations of electric and magnetic fields in two perpendicular directions, and both are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Suppose if direction of propagation is along z-axis, then the variation of electric field along x-axis may be along y-axis. Then the magnetic field also perpendicular to these two. That means suppose if z-axis is the direction of propagation, then suppose assume that electric field variations are along x-axis and magnetic field variations are along y-axis. This constitutes, that means an electromagnetic wave is the variation in electric and magnetic fields in two perpendicular directions and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Then that is an electromagnetic wave. Hereafter in polarization topic, we consider electric field the light wave. Light wave means we consider it as light vector, and that is electric vector. Because the photographic camera or everything or our eye which perceives electric field rather than magnetic field. That means, that's why in any case light vector means we take it as electric field vector. But the properties exhibited by magnetic field is also same that of electric field, but we can consider only electric field because our eye perceives only electric fields and sensitive to electric field. So electric field, we can take electric field as light vector. Means hereafter you remember that light vector means electric field vector. So variations of light means vibration of electric field vector. Okay. Now in a source of light, it emits light. If we consider a source of light, it emits light in all possible directions. That means, suppose if this is a source like this, suppose it emits a wave in this direction, very next instant, it does not always emit in the same direction only. That means it emits in random phases. Suppose the next wave may be in this direction, next wave may be in this direction, next wave may be in this direction. That means a source emits out light in all possible directions with randomly changing phase. That means one wave is emitted in this direction, another wave may be in this direction, another wave may be in this direction, with a duration of about 10 to the power minus 14 seconds. That means a source of light sends out a light wave. After 10 to the power minus 14 seconds, it sends out second wave. After the same time, it sends out third wave. But these waves are not in a single direction. First wave may be in this direction, second wave may be in this direction, third wave may be in this direction. But our eye cannot perceive them as separate ones, because the duration, the gap between these two is 10 to the power minus 14 seconds. That means so fastly they are generating from the source, emitting from the source. That means our eye cannot see them as separate. That means for us what we can see is light is emitting is symmetrically about all directions, like this. It means light waves are emitting symmetrically about this particular point in all directions, but really they are different phases. So, but for us it appears to be symmetrical about the direction of propagation. So, as we know, suppose assume that light waves are emitted x and y-axis like this. So light waves may be in all possible directions like this. Like this. So assume that this is xi direction, this is y-axis. Now these, because these, what we have assumed that these vibrations means these are the variations of electric fields. Here we have to consider the vibration of light vector means vibration of electric field. So the vibration of electric fields is possible in all like this, in all possible directions. Now we can resolve this electric field into components so that along x-axis, along y-axis. Now if we resolve all these possible, all these electric field vectors in different directions into x and y-axis only. Now if we resolve them into two directions specifically, so we get two directions. That means we are resolving all these vectors along x-axis and y-axis, so we will get a resultant like this. That means we have two possible directions. Okay, that's why we represent the polarized light by this way. So unpolarized light is represented by like this. That means indicating all possible directions. Or if we resolve all these components into x-axis and y-axis, so two possible directions like this. If this is direction of propagation. So this is unpolarized light. Now we represent the polarized light by this. Polarized light with vibrations perpendicular to the plane of this board. That means direction of propagation is this. Particles are vibrating perpendicular to this like this. Okay, like this. Now polarized light with vibrations in the plane of the board. It is represented by like this. Okay. In an unpolarized light, the vibrations are possible in all directions, and we can resolve them into two perpendicular directions like this. So this can be represented. That means arrow with a dot means it is unpolarized light. Only dots means polarized light with vibrations perpendicular to the plane of this board. Only arrows means polarized light with vibrations in the plane of this board like this. Okay, you have to remember this. Now you have to know two topics. Now assume this is a tourmaline crystal. Assume that this is direction of propagation. Like this. Now an unpolarized light is incident on a tourmaline crystal, and this tourmaline crystal allows only those vibrations which are in the plane of this board. That means it restricts the vibrations into single direction. That means this particular direction only. And remaining vibrations are filtered off. Now this particular, that means this is unpolarized light and this is polarized light with vibrations within the plane of this board like this. Now if we assume a plane like this, assume that this is a plane. In the plane these vibrations takes place. The plane in which these vibrations takes place, and this direction of propagation passes through that particular plane. So a plane which contains the direction of propagation and contains the vibrations of the electric field vector. A plane which contains direction of propagation and contains the vibrations of electric field vectors is called plane of vibration. Okay? A plane which contains the electric field vectors, vibrations of electric field vectors, and contains direction of propagation is called plane of polarization. Now assume another plane. This plane. So we can write like this. A plane perpendicular to this plane of vibration. A plane perpendicular to this plane of vibration is called plane of polarization. Okay. So a plane which contains the direction of propagation and the vibrations of electric field vector is plane of vibration, and a plane perpendicular to this plane of vibration is called plane of polarization. That means in the plane of polarization there is no vibrations. So vibrations are only in plane of vibration only. Now the next one. So polarization means restricting the vibrations of a wave into single direction, and it is the property of transverse waves. Okay, and here in this case we have to consider that electric field vector is considered to be as a light vector. Okay, now if the vibrations of this particular wave are confined to a single plane, that means vibrations are confined in a single plane, then it is called plane polarized light. If the restrictions if the vibrations of a wave are confined to a single plane, then it is plane polarized. If it is a light, the light vibrations of electric field vector are confined to a single plane, then it is called plane polarized light. In that plane only, if the vibrations are confined to a single direction or along a single straight line, then it is called linearly polarized light. Okay, so plane polarized light and linearly polarized light. Next, law of Malus. Okay, law of Malus. What this law of Malus states is the intensity of light transmitted through the analyzer, the intensity of light transmitted through the analyzer is directly proportional to the square of the angle between the plane of propagation of plane of transmission of polarizer and analyzer. Okay, what is that statement? Is the intensity of light transmitted through the analyzer is directly proportional to the square of the cosine of the angle between the plane of transmissions of polarizer and analyzer. Now what it is, you can see, and that law is I is equal to I naught cos square theta. Suppose assume that this is a polarizer, and this is analyzer. This is polarizer P, analyzer A. Now this is light is transmitted the screen. Now if what we have observed is when the plane of transmission of polarizer and plane of transmission of analyzer are exactly parallel, light is transmitted through the second slit, second prism, second analyzer, and reaches on the screen. Now if we slowly rotate this, then what happens is the intensity here gradually decreases and becomes 0, and that is given by this law. That means if the polarizer and analyzer are perpendicular, then in that case theta is 90 degree, I is equal to 0. Okay. Now if polarizer and analyzer are parallel, then theta is equal to 0, in that case 180. Suppose if you rotate it like this, theta equal to 0, then cos square theta is 1, then I is equal to I0, where I0 is the intensity of light through the transmitter. Intensity of light transmitted through polarizer. That means here intensity of light may be whatever the intensity of light is I0 after passing through this polarizer is the I0. Then this same I0 intensity will be here if A and P are parallel. So this is called law of Malus. Okay. So remember that I is equal to I0 cos square theta, and this is called law of Malus. Okay.